Dear students, we will learn a new chapter, okay? That is some natural phenomena. Here we are living in nature, right? And if you see around us, we will see the trees playing nicely. They will move when the cool wind blows. And if you see, the rain will fall and the water will flow on the ground. And flowers are blooming in nature and we are living in nature. But the same nature occasion sometimes, rarely, they will show their furious side, furious face, and they may cause some destruction they cause on us, the life or the on of the material on this earth. So in this chapter we will see such destructive nature of this destructive nature of the nature and how it causes and what are the precautions. You have seen the wind blowing, or sometime it may be storm blowing of storm, or even the hitting of cyclone in a particular area. Now recently we have seen sometimes some places either on the ocean or on the land, low pressure area is created and air rushes, that pressure deepens, and at that place the wind will flow with much great speed, 100-120 kilometer per hour, and causing much rain, thunderstorm, lightning. It causes much damage. It destruct the houses. Even sometime the life also become miserable. Right now, that is one phenomenon. The lightning, thunderstorm occurring. And a second phenomenon we will study in this 8th standard chapter, some natural phenomenon, the earthquake. You have seen without any giving any idea whether it is going to occur, suddenly it occurs. We are not ready to face it, suddenly it occurs, the earthquake. But your thunderstorm or the blow of cyclone, now due to some of the weather condition, forecasting of the weather condition, we can come to know, and that particular place people, they evacuate the place and they will go to the safe place. But earthquake, without any giving any idea, suddenly it struck and causing much damage, much to the material. The building will collapse, the tree will fall. You have seen it, right? So regarding how to take the protective measures to prevent that destruction, both the lightning as well as earthquake, we will study in this chapter. Okay, so first we will learn about the lightning. The natural phenomenon which will occur in nature is namely lightning. And second one we will learn about earthquake. So two phenomenon we will study. Okay. Now what is lightning? During rainy season, usually rain comes, and when clouds will form, thick clouds will form, you can see the streak of light in the clouds, and after that you can hear loud noise, the thunderstorm you can hear. Usually it won't cause much damage. Sometimes if it is severe in some places, it is very dangerous. It may catch fire. Even the green trees, if it is struck, lightning struck that particular place, it catch fire, right? Or sometime if it struck to the human being going in the ground or doing some work outside, it may hit that lightning and he may collapse there. It is very dangerous. Now what is this lightning? How it causes? We will learn first. Before learning this, we should know about static electric current. Static electric charges. Charges we have to study. Now, we have seen two types of current, the electric current and static electric charges. Here, the lightning is occur due to the static electric charges. Now, static means it is at rest. The charged particles are at rest. And in electric current in the circuit, to get the light working, glowing of light or moving of the fan, working of any electrical device, we need the charges to move. It is dynamic charges, the moving charges, that is called electric current. So, for lightning it is the static charge, the charge which will not move. So, that charge is the responsible for the lightning. Here that charge will come to play here. Now, to understand its static electric charges, you have to do some simple activities, that is rubbing of the two objects. When you rub vigorously the two objects, two different objects, then that process of rubbing creates some charges at that surface. The simple example you can do is, you are writing with the ball pen, right? You are writing, take its refill, okay? Take its refill and you have to rub it vigorously with the polythene. Polythene you have seen, right? So, with polythene you have to vigorously, you have to rub it and it is charged now. Now, how to know it is charged there? Charge is collected, acquire that refill, plastic refill, acquire the charges. It is charged now. How to know? Take small pieces of paper, keep it on the table, and after rubbing vigorously the plastic refill of your pen, bring that rubbed plastic refill near to the small pieces of paper. It will stick to it. It will stick to that refill. Small pieces you have to make, because it is very weak force, that electrostatic force. We have studied in force lesson and I did the experiment. You have observed by vigorous rubbing the straw, the plastic straw with the paper, and when the two straws brought together, or one straw with the vigorously rubbed with the paper brought with the another straw which is not rubbed at all, it will attract. And both, if you rub it together, they won't attract, they will move little away. That you have observed. That is nothing but due to electrostatic force it is. Here it is due to static charges. The charges will collect when you do rubbing. That same process it is here also. If you don't want that one, very simplest thing is, you take your plastic comb and vigorously rub it with your hair, okay? Then bring that one close to the small pieces of paper. It will stick to that your plastic comb. Here also, when you do rubbing of your hair vigorously, the hair should not wet or oily, dry hair you have to use, then it acquires, that process of rubbing makes, or it make it to store some charged particles on the plastic comb, okay? Or another thing, it is playful you can do. If you have some balloons at home, children, fill it with air, inflate the balloon, then tie the mouth of the balloon and you can use it for the produce the charges on the balloon. Now, what you have to do is, here you have to take the balloon filled with air and you have to rub it with the wool. Wool you have to take, okay? Take wool material, woolen cloth, whatever it is, vigorously rub it so that it should not break your balloon, it should not burst, and bring that filled air, vigorously rub it with the wool material, and if you bring very close to the wall, it will go close to the wall and it will stick, or if you fold it in hand, to some seconds it will stick to attach with your hand, then it will fall due to gravity, okay? So that you can do. Or if you don't want, take two balloons, okay, and tie it with the fill the air and tie the mouth with the thread. Okay, and rub it with the wool material, wool cloth, and bring close to the wall, hang it. You can see it will go near to the wall. So that is, again you are doing the acquisition of charges on this balloon. So you are making the balloon to acquire some charges, so it will get charged. So take the balloon, fill it with air, tie some thread, and this balloon you have to take the wool and vigorously you have to rub it and you have to see. Okay, these are the, by rubbing we are making the objects to store some charges. We are making some charges to store. Now there are two types of charges. Charges are of two types. One is positive charge and another one is a negative charge. And positive charge we will use this symbol, plus symbol, to indicate positive charge, etc. This is all positive charges, and we will use this negative charge and minus, we will use the symbol to indicate the negative charges. Okay, there are only two types of charges, and similar to your magnets, two like charges, two no need any like charges. If you bring the like charges, they will repel. Like charges repel, and unlike charges, what they will do? Unlike charges, they attract. Like charges repel each other, and unlike charges attract each other. Similar to your magnet, like poles repel each other, like north pole. You have seen in the fourth lesson, the two magnets. If you bring the similar poles like south pole and south pole, or you can bring north pole and north pole together, they repel, they won't come near, they repel, they move away. Same way, if you bring positive charge and another positive charge, the substance having positive charge together, bring it close, they will repel each other. To test it, you can do the same experiment. Instead of one balloon, you use two balloons now. So take two balloons, fill it with air, tie its mouth with the thread, light thin thread. Okay, then both the balloons, you take the help of your brother or sister or parent, because single-handedly sometimes you cannot do this activity, because there are so many material, rubbing is needed, you have to hang it, two balloons are needed. Okay, but I will explain how to do. You try this today. So first take one balloon, fill it with air, close its mouth, tie the thread, and rub it with the wool. Same manner, another balloon also you have to do this one, and after doing that, what you have to do? After rubbing woolen cloth, what you have to do is take that balloon after rubbing, and this balloon also, second balloon also, and try to bring it close. You try to bring it close, to hold it like this and bring it. You can observe they won't come close. They won't come close. If you try to touch it also, they won't. They will move little bit away. Small movement you can observe, because this electrostatic force or this force is very weak, and the charge we will, by rubbing, whatever we will do the charging, it is the acquisition of charge is very in a small amount. Okay, if you make sufficient storage of charge in the material, little bit more you can see that movement. Okay, but you can try it, a small movement you can observe. So they won't come, they will move little bit away. You cannot make them to touch. If you try to come, bring them close, these two balloons, after rubbing with the woolen cloth, they won't come, they will repel. because same material we have taken here for rubbing, that is balloon we have taken, and so same cloth we have used, that is woolen cloth we have used. So when the charge will acquire on the balloon, it is of similar kind. It may be positive, it may be negative, but same type it is. Okay, that is why like charges repel, so they show the repel. Okay, next one, what you have to do is, you can check this one, the like charges repel. Instead of this, the used refill, if you have the dot pen, ballpoint pen, take its refill, plastic refill, and polythene, you have to rub it with the polythene now. So take that one, and one more you take, two you take. Okay, two you need here to test this one. Take a refill, plastic refill, rub it vigorously with the polythene now. Okay, and in a tumbler, not metallic tumbler, take either plastic or a glass tumbler, keep that refill which is rubbed with the polythene, first one. And second one also, the refill, plastic refill, rub it vigorously with the polythene and bring close to this. Try to bring it close, or keep it here side, that also you can see. They will move away, they won't come together, these two refills, due to force of repulsion. If you try to bring, little movement you can see, because they are like, both are plastic and both are rubbed with the polythene. Understood? And that is the first property, that is like charges repel each other. Now next, as I said, there are two types of charges. How to test it? Very simple. Now one ball, one ball which is rubbed with the wool material, have it, and you have to bring it with the plastic refill which is rubbed with your polythene, and you have to bring the balloon near to it. You can see the balloon near it, they will attract, okay. So this experiment, this activity which you have to do at home, children, it will indicate there are two types, because it will show the attraction, because the material is different here, and this is balloon, it is plastic, it is rubbed with the woolen material, it is rubbed with the polythene material. So the charge acquired by balloon is different compared to the charge acquired by the refill, plastic refill. So they have different in nature, and you know that unlike charges attract each other, so they show the attraction. Okay, with the balloon also you can rub it with the different materials, the two balloons. Okay, one with the polythene, one with the your woolen material. You rub it and try it and suspend it close to each other. You see they may come close. You try to see, do this activity, children, because it's all simple activities you should do, because that movement is very small, so you can try it. Okay, that is the thing. So we have two charges. By rubbing we can make the an object to store the charges on its surface, outer surface, and there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge, and opposite charges always attract each other, and the same charges always repel each other, similar to your magnets. Okay, so that is about the two types of charges. Now usually when this aspect come to know which is the positive charge, conventionally what they did is, they have taken glass rod and they rubbed it with the, vigorously they rubbed it with the silk cloth. They vigorously rubbed it with the silk cloth, and after that it acquires the charges, and that charges they named it as positive charge. The glass rod, after rubbing with the silk cloth, they have considered this charge as a positive charge. And if it attracts another charged substance, then the other substance is a negative charge. So in that way they classified the which is positive charge and which is negative charge. Okay, that is the convention. Glass rod, we should rub it with the silk, and by taking plastic, even rubber, or by taking metal, and if we try to rub it with other materials, it may be polythene, it may be silk, it may be woolen material, you have to rub it and see whether it will attract the small piece of paper. If it will attract the small piece of paper, definitely it acquires, it means it acquired already the charged particle after rubbing. Okay, so that is the electrostatic charges. Now you want to measure it, and a substance is charged or not. Now how to find it? Always you will do take small pieces of paper, keep it on the table and bring that material near to that one to test it. We have to scientifically we have to test it whether an object is charged or it possesses charge, or is it acquired some charges on it. Is it any charges present on that substance? You want to test it. Now there is one device is there, it is called electroscope. Electroscope is a device, by using that we can find out whether an object is charged, will it possess charge in it, is it charged or not, we can find out. Now what is the structure of that one? It is simple. In a glass, the mouth is closed here, and here one metallic structure pierced through this mouth of this jar, and here you can see the two thin foil of gold there, metallic foil you can see, and here it is also metal, it is electroscope. So which material you want to test it, bring, say it is a one object, say your plastic scale, you rub it with paper or your polythene, this one material, and bring it and make it touch this metallic part of this one. Okay, then this charge will transfer. Actually the charge which is acquired after rubbing, if you touch this metallic part, it transferred here, it is full metal here, so it will come here, then it will pass to this two strips of metal, and they move away, because same type of charge will transmit to this strip of metal, like charges they become, so they move away. Now you take this one and touch this one with your hand, then the two strips of metal comes closer. How it is possible? When you touch it with your hand, the charge which is stored here now, after transfer of charges from that substance, it will come back to this metal, and it will pass to your hand, and it will go to the earth. Okay, so charge will discharge now. When charge will store here, when you hold it in hand, when you touch it hand, that stored charge will discharge, or earthing. We call this process as earthing. Earthing means that charge, whatever is acquired now by that metallic strips, it will transmit through us, through our hand, to the earth. Earth is a big reservoir for the any charges. How much charge also it will take. Okay. So there is no charge, then as usual it will come closer. It will come closer like this way, the two strips of paper. Now I will show it later how you can make it this simple electroscope, how to prepare. Okay. Now what you need is you take a glass you need. Okay. Jam bottle etc. is there, no, sauce bottle or jam bottle, big one, you take it and take its lid, take one plastic cardboard, thin cardboard, make one hole in it, and your paper clip is there, no, metallic paper clip, you keep it spread, open that paper clip, metallic clip, and pierce through that hole, and in one end of that paper clip you hang, you will get aluminum foil, thin aluminum foil, to use it for food etc., to hold your food stuff etc. through this aluminum foil. You will get it in the shop. You ask your parents, they may have it in the kitchen. So use two strips of otherwise I will show you how to make aluminum foil, and you hang it through the other end. Here you have to hang it. This you have to take this clip, jam bottle you have to take, cardboard you have to keep. Instead here you can use one thin cardboard you can use, and the metallic paper clip you can spread it, and this end here, this end will be rest like this way. So whenever you will rub the substance, bring this and touch it, you can show very small movement of this aluminum foil, and after that if you touch with your hand, they will come closer because discharge of the charge takes place from that aluminum foil. First like charges will store here, so they show repel, and after after that if you touch it, the charges will discharge and they come closer, normal they become. So that is the electroscope which is used to find the material is charged or not. That you can try that one. Now why we have studied all about these charges? What is the connection with these charges with the lightning here? Because we should know, to know the lightning process, these charges, their properties we should know, the static charges. Here we are only talking about the static charges, the charges which is used in your houses, but to make the glow your bulb or to run the fan. It is the charges which are in movement. They will move in the wire and we get the electric current. So it is not that charge, it is not that moving charge we are talking, it is the charge which is rest we are talking in this one. Okay. Now lightning, actually how it caused, what it is. You have seen the water get evaporated, and when it will lose its temperature, at its go up and up, it will change into liquid form, or they will collect here, and small water droplets it forms, all will come together, form the cloud, and they are moving in the atmosphere at the greater height. And these clouds, when they will move, and these clouds have water droplets, and water drops which are bigger in size, they will collect in the lower region, and water drops which are smaller in size or mass, they will collect in the upper region. And by that, and by the movement of air, if air is uneven, air is there, and some condition make the air to move upward, and the movement of water drops make it to move down. That this movement, unusual movement, makes this water drops to acquire charges. As you see, the motion, the rubbing process creates, some rubbing process creates between the objects, some charge develop on its outer surface. So same manner, when the air molecules move up, and the water drops move downwards in the cloud itself, not during rain formation. It is maybe sometime during rain formation. Here it will produce the charges in the cloud. Some water, the heavy water drops which will collect at the lower edge of the cloud, it become negatively charged, and upper region of the cloud where it is smaller water droplets will be there, it acquire the positive charge. So in the clouds we have positive and negative charge, and whenever this big huge clouds with the much storage, not small amount like we are doing here with the things, there the cloud is much bigger, many water drops are there, and they will acquire much when they will charge, storing takes place upper and lower region, and as the clouds are moving, the two clouds may come closer, or sometimes the clouds which will come in contact with the taller object on the earth, etc., like high buildings, etc., pole, metallic pole, etc. There is possibility that it will flow suddenly through the air. If the gap is very, very small, even the gap, it is air. Air is bad conductor of electric charges, but even the air cannot resist or stop this flow of that charges. They flow, producing large sound and light, and what we call them as lightning. So more about lightning we will learn in detail in the next class. Thank you.